Okay, so these deadly sins, you know which one is which. These guys, I have no idea. Hello, people of YouTube. Welcome to the Spikehead podcast, where today we'll be talking about Shazam, the latest Disney film, showing the backstory of Billy Batson and how he comes to encompass the powers of Wizard Shazam. This is directed by David F. Sandberg, starring Zachary Levi, Mark Strong, Ashley Angel, and Grazer, and this is another good run from DC. This is basically the origin story of Shazam, and how Billy Batson is lost by his mother when he's at a young age, and he's gone from foster home to foster home trying to find her. Eventually comes across this very nice family. All the while, this wizard is trying to keep these 7 deadly sins encompassed in these rocks, but he's growing weaker. And in the prologue, he rejects a kid who he deems not worthy. That kid spends his life trying to find him, finds the wizard, takes the eye, releases the sins. So the wizard, unfortunately, has to take the next one. Otherwise, the world is basically buggered. So along comes Billy Batson, being run in by bullies on a subway, happening to find himself given these powers of this ancient wizard. Now, the positives in this film, obviously, is the hilarious moments are hilarious, obviously. This is a very good comedy film. It really hams up a lot of the comedy. Zachary Levi is brilliant, just portraying this kid that's suddenly become this adult, and he is freaking out constantly. And just all the stuff he does in that first half hour of the film is brilliant. I really enjoyed all the comedy elements of this. Well, not quite all of them. There are some ham-fisted comedy, but for the most part, a lot of the comedy is really good. I especially love the Big aspect to this. You remember the Tom Hanks film Big? They directly homage that in a toy shop at one point, complete with piano. But yep, Freddy, his foster brother, and Billy as Shazam are just going around town making YouTube videos, basically being a bit selfish and not really appreciating what this power is that Billy has happened to find himself with. But the whole first third with the comedy is almost perfect, but when it does get serious, it does get serious. I love the foster family dynamic of this. There are 6 kids and 2 adults who are ex-runaways themselves, who have taken in these foster kids. We have little adorable Darla, we have college girl Mary, we have the gamer boy Eugene, we have the quiet boy whose name I can't remember. I think it was Hugo. It probably was Hugo. It'll probably not be. I'll show this name on screen here. But they all have their own little dynamic, and they are really good. I especially love how it ends with them all as well. I love what the film does with these characters and how they come to help out Shazam as well. That is really entertaining. And I will say that the villain and hero dynamic between the two is really good, because both of these were kids when they were first approached by the wizards. One got rejected, one was picked by the wizard, I guess. But yeah, Billy could have gone the exact same way. It's almost like a mirroring of his 2 characters, and I just love how Billy matures so fast throughout this film. I just love the way the 2 of them are almost polar opposites of each other in where they have gone in life, considering they've went into the exact same situation. I will say this though, the villain is really good in my opinion. He's not overly developed, I will say this, so not everyone will like this villain, but me personally, I enjoyed him. But his villain moment, his big, I am a villain, here are my powers, here's what I can do moment, holy shit, that moment is almost terrifying. If this film had a bit of a harder rate, it would have been gruesome. He's just so menacing. Mark Strong is a brilliant actor. He is so menacing in that moment, and just how casual he is. And I will say that the script as well is really well done. The dialogue exchanges between characters is really good as well, and just having to incorporate this adult trying to say things that an adult would say, even though he's got the mental age of a kid, was really good as well. And the action sequences as well in Shazam are really entertaining also. Negatives though, the green screen when it comes to flying is a little obvious at times, a little too obvious. It's really an eyesore, and that's something DC always seems to struggle with, is these green screen effects. They are so inconsistent. Sometimes they're really good, other times they are really poor. Also, Freddy is a bit selfish at times. Like, basically, he gets mad at Billy for reasons only to do with him not getting his own way. Before that, he is basically just being as selfish as Billy with his powers. And when Billy starts cutting him out, that's where he starts saying, you should have great responsibility with these powers. Come on, Freddy. I would have much preferred it if it was Darla that gave Billy the little push that he needed more than Freddie, because she seemed to be the embodiment of sweetness and cuteness and just... Kids have straight lines, they have straight talking attitudes, and sometimes they just speak the actual truth, which we don't generally appreciate. And I wish she got the more, I'm going to give Shazam something to think about more than Freddie, because Freddie does a bit of a 180 and is a bit of a hypocrite, in my opinion here. Also, that mother backstory is hardly built. It's sort of built a bit, put on the back stop for about an hour, and then it comes back towards the end. And I didn't feel necessarily satisfied with that element of the film. And I will say that my one big problem with this film is DC's habit of ruining what should be big epic moments with awkward one-line comedy. There are just some moments where, yes, comedy, great, have it, you're a comedy film, have it, but there are some bits where I feel like, give us an epic moment, give us an iconic DC moment, give us those badass moments without punctuating them with fucking comedy, with these awkward liners that aren't funny, because they just take you out the moment. And with that, they're never going to get, it's the only Marvel comparison that I'm going to be giving here, but you're never going to get, he may have been your father, but he ain't your daddy. You're never going to get Thor landing on Wakanda with Rocket and Groot on him. You're never going to get the Avengers one shot if you're just going to have a punchline in comedy. Imagine the Avengers, the OG Avengers camera turn moment, and then it ends that scene with Hulk saying, "So, we're your team now?" Like, don't, just start with these awkward comedy moments, DC, and you'll be fine, because you are doing great work finally. You've taken a while to find your feet, but you're doing good work. So can we start with these awkward comedy scenes, punctuating these badass moments? Performances, though, Zachary Levi is fantastic in this film. He is having so much fun. You can tell he's enjoying every minute he's on screen. And his relationship with Grazer is brilliant as well. Their chemistry together on screen is brilliant. Mark Strong is a fun, malicious villain in this film. He is highly enjoyable. Asher Angel as the young Shazam, he epitomizes that smarmy, smart-ass kid from the animated shows that I've seen and the animated films that I've seen of the Justice League. He epitomizes that really well. And for kid actors, they all do really good jobs in this. And I also enjoyed Cooper Andrews and Martina Milans. They are the foster parents, and they are just so good. They feel like genuine characters. They have a genuine connection. They don't want to parent really hard unless they really have to. I just like the dynamic between them two and how they talk about what they were like in the old days and their chemistry. It would be nice to have like a little coming of age story of those, like a little short film with those two. I just really enjoyed their element and their aspects and how they managed the family. It was really good. And I will give a shout out to Faith Herman, as she is absolutely adorable as Darla. She is so cute, and she brings a smile to my face every time she is on screen. And for an actor that young, she does a very good job as well. A really good job. Overall, Shazam is another home run for DC. They are going to be okay. So I will ask, can we start with the Marvel DC comparisons? Because Marvel took a while to get on with it, and it took a while for them to get a consistent string of good films back to back going off. It's the same with DC. They've taken a while. We've had our Suicide Squads, we've had our BVSs, we've had our Divisive Man of Steels and Justice Leagues. They did okay here, and I feel like this is a fresh start for DC. And with the comedy and the family aspect, I feel like this is a very good film for kids, definitely, especially kids that might be in foster families, because it has that strong message of you can't help who you're born to. It's your own family that you do pick in the end, and that I feel like is very important in this day and age. So Shazam, it has its problems, like the green screen effects and the awkward comedy for starters are really painful to me. But overall, guys, Shazam, I will have to say that it is a good cup of tea. So Shazam, has everyone seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And if you do enjoy what I do on this channel, consider liking and subscribing over here and checking out some of my other content over on this side. My next review will probably be Pet Sematary. I aim to see it at some point this weekend. Us and Fighting With My Family I'll probably review in a one-man podcast later down the line, unless I can get someone to collaborate with, because that's the reason I'm not in the podcast lately, guys, is because I've had trouble finding someone to collaborate with, and I don't want to be using the same people over and over again, if that makes sense. But Next up will be Pet Sematary, guys, and I'm really looking forward to it because I'm a big horror fan and I love Stephen King. But until that video drops, guys, this is that Spikehead podcast signing off.